Welcome to the first video in my series of computing with Matlab. So now I'm assuming that you already have Matlab installed. So I'm going to go straight to giving you an overview of the software so you know your way around. So here we are, we have Matlab loaded. So I'm going to quickly go over all the different components of the window as you can see right now. So the top middle window that you can see here is your editor. So I'm going to label this guy, the editor, so that we can remember what it is. And then the lower one, still in the middle, is the command window. The command window. And then we have this guy right here by the right, which we call the workspace. So I'm going to tell you what's all of them, what they are and how we use them later. Then this last one right here on the left is your current folder. So I'm going to just drag this way and let's move on. So this is the current folder. So this is your editor, this is your command window, and this is your workspace. So I like to talk about the command window as the place where you write things that you want to use once and forget about it. Let's say you just want to quickly check up how to do something. You can just quickly do that on the command window. For example, I can say maybe I just want to check the multiplication of two numbers. You use command window as just a small calculator, 25 times 60, and then it tells it is 1,500. Or you want to compute the sign of 1 in radian, and then you get that which is 0.8415. So any little calculation that you just want to do quickly and forget about it is what you can do on the command window. Now, the editor is where you do things, or maybe you run any kind of calculation that you want to reuse later. For example, you can write some code. So here, to do this, you're going to have to like start a new script. And for example, all the things that you've done here, if you want to use it later, maybe you can say, okay, I want to set x equal to linspace 1 to 10. And that's going to be 100 discretization by default, where I can state the number that I want. So I'm going to tell you all about that later. So and then I want to calculate the sine of x and then plot the graph. Then we have plot x, y. Right, so I call this guy my y. So then I can just do the plotting and then you run this code. I mean, of course, I have to save this before I can do that. Let me say first test. First test, and okay, no, I have to. You cannot have space in the name of a script or a function. So and then that runs. So we get the then we get the plots. So because after using this, if I still want to run the code again, I just have to close this guy and then just click run again. So what it means is that I can reuse my code. So anything I want to do that I know that I'm going to need to use it later, you just go ahead and just put it on the you just open a new editor, I mean the scripts, and then type whatever you want to do, and then you save that so that you can come back and reuse it later. So that is what the editor is for. It is for in the editor that you can build your own custom function. And if you have any serious project that you're going to do, so you are going to have to like write some a script, solve some problem, and then give it to someone else, you are going to be able to do that through the editor. So we have the workspace. What is the workspace? The workspace is just like the name implies, workspace, like you're doing something where you have your tools. So now my tools, the things I work with, are the variables that I declared, and these are found in the workspace. So right now, what I did on the command window, I did not declare any variable, but the X and the Y that I used right here on the editor showed up on the command window. I'm sorry, on the workspace. And the reason for that is because this right here is actually a script. So I'm going to tell you the difference between a script and a function later. So A script is just like the behavior exactly the same as the code that you wrote directly on the command window. All right. So now, if I can go to the command window, even though I can say just maybe like z is equal to 5, and then I run that, and then you'll see the z in the workspace. So any new variable that I create just show up in the workspace. Now, sometimes you have too much things already, piled up on your workspace, and you want to clear them because you want to be able to see the things. Maybe you've been writing so much code and you declare it as variables, and they just clogged up your workspace. You want to clear them and then work with the new variables that you want to declare. So you have what you call that you can use to clear your workspace. Here you have clear workspace. So when you click this, it clears your workspace. Another way to clear your workspace is to just type clear here, and then you don't have anything on the workspace again. So you're writing clear right here in the command window, and or clicking this clear workspace, produce exactly the same effect. But also, what if I want to clear my command window? There is how to clear your command window also. So here is it here, clear the command window. Now you can use this to clear the command window, or just come to the command window and type CLC, and that also clears your command window. Now that I have cleared the labels, let us go over the contents of the home tab. So the first thing that you have here is the new script. So this allows you to create a new script anytime. So if I click this, I have a new script. I can close it, or I can then click this button. So either of them produce exactly the same effect. So I can use this to start a new script, or I can use the first button or the home tab. So aside from that, I have the next one, which is for the new live scripts. So just like we have new scripts, live scripts, we have new function and new live functions. But those can be accessed from this plus button here, which is for new anything. If you click this, you can see new scripts, live scripts, function, live function, class, test class, system object, project, figure, anything. You have everything new that you may want to create, you can do them from here. And then you have this open button, which is for you to be able to open any function that you've created before, any file that you want to work with, but just an M file, and possibly a text file also. And then you can use this to find any particular file that you already have before. So because it just brings a dialog box, and then you're going to put in the name of the file and other information, and then you click search, it's going to look for the file where it is for you. All right. Then you have the import data. So this, we also start a GUI, and what it does is it allows you to import a particular data that you want to use into your workspace. And here is how it works. It's a combination of many functions. All right. So it can import a text file. It can import an XLX file. So to import the text file, it's just use the read function, the load function. Then to import the XLS file, it uses what we call the XLX read. Now, another function that you can use for that is the read table. All right. So that has many functions built in, and the choice of the function depends on the extension, which is the type of the file. So then you have clean data. This is for data science. So we'll talk about this when we get there. So here you have your variable, your workspace, clear workspace. We talked about this. So favorite, I don't know what this is for, maybe the kind of command that you used, but I've not used that before. We have this analyze code, which basically tell you the same thing as the problems already highlighted in your code when you're writing it. For example, in this code here, I have this warning, which is actually telling me to suppress whatever I have on line 2 and on line 4, just to make sure that they're not printed to the command window. So if I click analyze and I try to analyze this particular function, what I will get are just those two warnings. So you have run and time, which is used to time your function to know how fast they are, how efficient the function is. So the clear command, we talked about this. This is for Simulink. This is for your layout, how you want things to be laid out. I can move this window from here to another place. And then if I want to restore, I can go back to the layout and choose the one that I already set there before. So Then you can request support, you can learn Matlab, you can talk to the community from here, you can get help, all right? So you can search the documentation from here, and then you can set parts, your parallel computing. We'll talk about a whole lot of this. Now, one more thing that is very important that I'm going to do here is that because my screen is big, so some of you might find it difficult to actually see the things that I am typing on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I am going to change to a new default setting for the size of the text, all right? The font size that I'm using, just to make it bigger so that it is easy for people, to see any code that I am writing. So to adjust the font size, I'm going to go to my preference, and then I come to fonts, and then I choose custom, all right? So I choose custom, so I would then adjust the fonts of all of them one by one. So the first one is the command window. I want the font to be bigger, so I'm going to choose custom. So I like working with the plain text, but it looks fine. So then I like working with Korea New. This is my favorite uh, Korean, where is this? C-O-U. Okay, this one. And then I'm just gonna set it to be, let's say 36. I mean, it's really big, but that will make sure that you can see what I'm writing clearly. So I'm gonna apply this. Then I'm going to the command history. So I'm going to do exactly the same. Korean new, where is that? Here. Okay. And then I'm going to use 36. Apply that. Then I'll go to my editor and do exactly the same thing, Korean new. So I'm going to 36 also. I'm applying that. So all done. Okay. Now everything is big and you can see everything clearly. Now, so let me introduce you to where the magic is going to happen. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to be using the scripts in the editor. So I'm going to be using the live scripts. So here is a live script. So I can have it this way, that I write my code here, and then the output of my calculation get displayed on this side of the screen, or I have them together on exactly just the output or the graph will just come under the code that I have written. So I think I'm going to go for that choice. Output in line. This side code. So this is what I'm going to do. So here now, you can have both the code and the description of whatever you want to do, some text, everything can come together. I mean, this is not comments. Like, for example, now I can say x equal to 1, 2. So this is a vector containing 1 and 2. And then I can just come down and say, okay, I'm going to give a description of what x is. So in that case, I'll change from code mode to text mode. And then I'll type, okay, x is a vector containing 2 numbers. And that's it. So here I have text and I have code all on the same page. So example again, I can say, okay, I want to switch back to code mode and I want to display maybe use another X, or maybe just to repeat the same thing that we've done before, maybe namespace. All right, and I go from 0 to 7. Okay, so and then I'm going to say, okay, then y equal to cosine of x. And then I want to plot that xy. So I run the code. So the first one, you have x equal to 1, 2, and then the result is displayed. Why? Because I did not suppress this computation. So if I added this semicolon, so I'm saying do not output the result of this calculation. That's what it means. I mean, do not echo it. We use echo in those days. So now here, I have this x from 0 to 7, and then y cos of x, and then I plot xy. So here, I have the plots displayed just directly under the code. So this is better than having the code, the plot from another window, and then I have to be dragging it up and down. So this is fine. Now, another benefit of using live scripts is that I can run different sections separately. Okay, like if I'm here, I can say, okay, this is the section that I want to run. So I can just change this thing to sign. So I don't have to run from beginning. I change this to sign, and then I run the section. So just that section, and then this is the plot of the sign. So it's changed. I can say, okay, maybe I want to use tan or hyperbolic tangents. Done. And then I just run the section. And then this is fine. So this is better than just using and then this is how we are going to be doing everything that we're going to be doing. I mean, henceforth. Now, on a final note, there is nobody that knows everything completely about Matlab because it's evolving, they're adding new functions all the time. So you have resources that are available that can guide you on how to use some specific functions. For example, let's say I don't know how sign works or how to use it. So I'll just come to the command window and then just type help sign. All right. And then to tell you that, okay, sign of an argument in radians, and then sign is the sign of the element x. So that should also give you some other suggestions. So you have arc sign, then sine d, which is for the angle in degree, or sine pi, which is for integer multiple of pi. All right. So, and then if you click this, it's going to tell you more about it. All right, with the sign of x times pi. This is something we use a lot in Fourier series or Fourier Transform. Okay. So, and then you can click this to go to the documentation for sine pi, and then that will open up. Sorry, that's coming up on another screen here, and then this is it here. So also you can come here and type whatever you want to learn about reshape, for example, here, and then it will just open the documentation for me, right? And then show me everything about reshape. Then I can click this and then read more and understand how to use the function. So this brings us to the end of the introductory video. Then in the next class, we're going to learn about how to create variables, what type of variables that we have in Matlab. So you learn about how to name variables, how to name files. There are we have rules that guide how that is done. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Bye.